Dean Wilson, he's a counselor and he's here assisting and supporting participants. And I think there's another counselor that was here that may be back, is Elder Roy Smith.
Hi, my name is Vicki Hill. I am the daughter of one of the women that went missing back in 1978. My mother's name was Mary Jane Hill. She was found 21 miles east of Rupert sometime in March 1978. I was only 6 months old when I lost her. My heart goes out to every one of the women that went missing around when I was 16. I've been working on my mom's case for a long time. It's going to be 33 and a half years since my mom was gone. And still no answers to this day. I understand how a lot of women, families feel. I'm losing a loved one here to them. I've done articles with the Vancouver Sun, Daily News, the Connector's paper. What more do we have to do for these women, for other people to understand? These are our people, our First Nations out there that are missing. I am a mother of two. It's hard for me to express how I feel. I'll try to do whatever I can to help these women. It's not only 15 years ago. Think about it, 1978, she's been gone. Now my kids won't see my kids graduate. She won't see me get married. There's no birthdays, no Mother's Day, no family gatherings for me. But as a mother, I do what I can for my kids. I talk to them. I tell them how I feel. I am trying to be strong, but it's not easy. We've been trying to get the billboards out. Rupert here for how many years now, and there's still nothing. Where did the money go for the grant that Rupert got for the billboard? Not too long ago, a couple of years ago, I received my mom's death certificate and an inquisition from Victim Services. I have a whole lot. I have a file going on that I should have brought here to show you guys. Keep everything that goes on with our women that are gone missing. Not only our women, it's our children. I don't think I ever have trust with the RCMP. I'm sorry to say, but that's just the way I feel. been going on for a long time. And I want justice, not only for my mom, but for the rest of the women that are out there and their families. It's so hard to even have the words put together on how I feel about this. But like Gary Coon said, there's going to be a poster contest for the billboard, and I'm going to be one of the judges. And I'm very proud that the MLA asked me to be part of this. It means a lot. I want justice for these women. My mom. Only God knows who's doing this. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicki. Now, Janice Brown.
My name is Janice Brown. I'm a fighter Sushan. My dad is from Massachusetts. My mom is from Canada. I was never over there until a few years ago. I've been fighting addiction since I was 19. I cleaned up for a while, not drink and stuff. I've been fighting. I've been doing a harm reduction for 3 years now. I was hitchhiking on Highway about 4 years ago. I got picked up by this guy. Today I don't know who it was. And they left me for dead. They found me 9 hours later. I was only I was only 20 minutes out of death. And I made the mistake of telling the cop that I probably went willingly. I said, but I still want to find out who did it. And they never checked into it. They never got back to me. I mean, it's a very small town. And they know who owns the house they brought to the place where it happened. I've never had any good rapport with any cops. I got beaten up by this cop because I mouthed off one too many, and I got beat up by them pretty bad. I tried to go to the hospital and explain to them what happened. They wouldn't see me. My dad finally put me on a ferry and brought me here. And so I made up this story so they could see me. And it turned out I had fluid on my lungs because they were kicking me so hard in the back. And they were going to charge me with being drunk in the public place and assaulting an officer. So I asked the counsel, Susie Gray, to represent me and counter-charge and to get the videotape of them, because they videotaped them all. And they said they'll drop the charges, and somehow it got videotaped over when they beat me, and nothing was done with that other. There's one time living in Vancouver, I'm a survivor of the downtown baseline. I know Molly also. I got picked up. I was waiting for a bus and these 4 guys dragged me into the car. I just remember the first thing they started doing is just punching me around in a circle. They raped me and just left me for dead under the old County Street Bridge. I've been fighting and struggling really hard right now just to be alive. I was raped in Campbell River on May 14th by a supposed friend. He was raped 4 times, and then the 5th time it was a white woman, and so they, they want me to stand up so they can keep him in jail, but they wouldn't do it for me because I'm Native, because she's white, and now they're paying attention. And they keep letting him out, and he's bad views all around. I was at that symposium in Prince George, and I recognized a couple of faces from there. And I was just sitting back there just shaking my head in disgust, because that's what this whole thing was about 5 years ago, and nothing is done. You know, but it's just sad. I don't know. This is my life is this movie. It's called Last Exit from Brooklyn. If you want to see hard life, that's how I feel. I'm just tired of the systems. I'm really grateful for Grania, for Indigent here, that we've got such beautiful women in the transition houses, and the transition houses, Campbell River. I ended up having to go there because I'm hurting. I don't want to die. I just want to die.
Thank you.
Nancy?
Okay.
Kate, sorry. And Lillian Green?
With respect to a previous speaker, this is the downtown east side. Right here, in Kitcat, in Greenville, in Belleville, in Hazelton. That's the downtown east side. Very, very few people are born there. They come from these communities. They come from everywhere around the province because our communities now lack the resources to take care of them. That's where they end up. I worked there for 11 years. I worked as a support worker, I worked as an employment counselor, I worked with the most vulnerable people right in Hastings. And you know who the predators are now? There are our own Native gangs and the refugee gangs. These are the people that are the street level drug salesmen. They use our women as mules. And it's our own people, I'll say. Our own elected big money leaders from the Native community are not here today. That doesn't surprise me. My partner here, her name is Lillian Gray, and she is the youngest sister of Michelle. She really doesn't have much of a memory of her sister because her sister lived such a hard and troubled life. Ended off, but I went to high school with Michelle. I remember her when we were 14, 13 years old. But my partner here, unfortunately, doesn't have much recollection because of, the hard life that they lived as well. But I just want to say that, until we target the financial literacy problems, until we target the addiction problems, none of this is going to go away. Because every day, people in Prince Rupert terrorists, they end off on a bus, they end off hitchhiking. We went to Smithers a month and a half ago. 6 women hitchhiking between Hazelton and Paris. 6. That's today, that's 2011. Nothing's changed. The predators are still out there. So, all this is fun and dandy, but it needs to be recognized that the experts, the people that work every day with the most vulnerable, are being left out. It's Gladys, Bernie, David Eady, those folks. Those are the people we need to hear from as well. And that's all I'm going to say, and I will not take any questions. unless they're personal. Thank you very much.
Inez Shanas.
Singing the guest, Easting Hannah, and honored guests. Inez Shanas, what? Can go through with me. Cane Island, Roger. Some Matai, what? Ladies and gentlemen, Inez Shanas is my name. I reside from King Cullen, but I live in Prince Rupert. And my Indian name is Rainbow. First of all, I would just like to thank Lisa Waldo for directing me to this workshop. And I am very thankful, Lisa, that you have directed me here, because I was seeking this missing women's program for a while. I did not know how to get in touch with you. I'm a student rep for Northwest Community College in Prince Rupert campus. And I belong to the Canadian Federation of Students' Union across Canada. And we have a national and provincial AGMs with all our colleges across Canada. Safety issues for our students, women and men, are very important in our colleges. And because of the high amount of devastation that happens in colleges across Canada, we have started groups for AGM, and one of them is Women's Caucus Group, Aboriginal Caucus Group, and No Means No. These are groups where, in the women's group, there might be up to sometimes 150 women in that group, and they all voice their opinions about how they feel, about how hard it is to get to school, or how afraid they feel when they're walking to school, or how afraid they feel when they're going to be going home if it's late in the night. What are they going to do when they don't have enough bus fare? How hard it is for them to put their own lives in jeopardy to get home and to get to school. They don't have enough for a bus fare, bus pass. Transit is probably the highest and hardest thing for them, because in the north, it's easy to see. I can't take night classes because it's going to be really dark in another month. And am I going to walk all the way home to the other end of town? It's a long walk when you're carrying a load of books. So the only way I can go to school is during the day. In the north, in Hazelton area, at our provincial AGM meeting, the Hazelton people brought forth that their women have to hitchhike to school every morning because the bus doesn't leave early enough for them to get there to school safe. So they have to decide, do I take my life in jeopardy to get my education today? And if they don't feel comfortable, they'll miss it. That affects their school, their funding. Transportation is a lot of reason why women, our lives are in jeopardy. it's really heartbreaking as well when you're in a room full of women hearing their stories about what they've gone through and how hard it is that there are no resources out there to help them, to open that door to say, okay, I'll help you. They put them through hoops one too many times, and they're not going to go back and ask for help again. It takes a lot of guts for a woman to go anywhere to ask for help. We're taught as women, when we're very young, to be strong. You can do it. But when we're down really low and we need help ourselves, sometimes it's hard to go to a door and say, can you help me? Only to be turned away. You either walk or you hitchhike to where you're going. Sometimes it's, well, I'm not going to say sometimes, it's just not fair. In our No Means No campaign, it's a lot about abuse, date rape, women being raped on campus, and it's not just women, men as well are in jeopardy. They too have come forward, and the No Means No campaign in the colleges is open to men and women because the men stand with the women. They want to stand for them. They want to stand with them because they want to help them. They want to help them get through whatever it is they're going through, and not to say, no, it's just the women's issue. In the colleges across Canada, they're making t-shirts that say, no means no. And it'll tell you all about everything that there's women and men are saying no to. Safety is number one issue that we are working on together as Confederation of Students Union to reinforce campaigns to make it safe for women to get to and from school. I can say that I'm a survivor of many things myself. I had to choose life. I had to leave things to choose life so I could live in safety. Some things that you leave, not by choice, but I finally decided my life is important. How I am is important. Not them anymore. I am. It takes a lot of guts to get there. It takes a lot of guts to do it. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, you are what matters. You are number one. If it's too hard for you to get anywhere, just remember your safety is the most important. Never stop trying to reach out. Never stop trying to reach out when the door is closing. Just get right back up until they help you. I'm glad to say that I'm part of the Students' Union here at Northwest Community College because it's really opened a lot of doors for me and how to help women. And I know once I complete the courses that I really need that I too will one day be a counselor that's the goal I want to reach, and I want to be a counselor because there was nobody there for me when I needed help. It took too many months. And I really appreciate the many the many people that have their doors open, like bridging, for instance. Salvation Army, Transition House. Without those places, we would have nowhere to go. You know, the abuse that affects so many people has so many faces. Verbal abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse. Now, how much do we have to put up with? We don't have to. As I said, we matter, and it's up to us to keep continuing to go, keep finding help and never give up. And our hearts are with you from the Federation of Students Union. We work together as a team from all the colleges to see what more we can do and allow people to voice their opinions and how they feel. And I just wanted to know that.